Installing power factor correction systems can significantly reduce the transmission losses from ESCOM all the way to the end users. And as a result, the power factor correction solutions not only result in reduced electricity costs, but it also assists businesses to achieve their net or contribute to businesses achieving their net zero goals. Hi, I'm Eric from Alpha Power Solutions, and today I want to explain to you how power factor correction systems can support your net zero goals. So when we speak about net zero, what we mean is that an entity, I mean by that a business or a physical person, does not contribute to the increase in greenhouse gases into the environment. It doesn't mean that they do not produce greenhouse gases, but that they counteract the amount of greenhouse gases that they emit by implementing measures that actually reduce the amount of carbon emissions in the system or discharged into the environment, and gradually, have a net effect that whatever greenhouse gases are produced by that entity are basically offset by other measures. And as a result, there is zero increase to the carbon emission, the carbon footprint of that entity into the environment. Right. When we talk about net zero, we mean that an entity is actually trying to achieve a net effect where the amount of greenhouse gases it emits into the environment is offset by any other actions that entity has implemented to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases in the environment. And as a result, that specific entity does not contribute to an increase in greenhouse gases. So when it comes to electricity, the vast majority of the greenhouse gases in South Africa are generated by the coal-fired power station in our country, and more specifically, all the megawatt hours generated by ESCOM. Now, installing power factor correction systems can significantly reduce the transmission losses from ESCOM all the way to the end user. And as a result, the power factor correction solutions not only result in reduced electricity costs, but it also assists businesses to achieve their net or contribute to businesses achieving their net zero goals. And the solar systems, obviously, as I mentioned before, the solar system will then, when installed, obviously, contribute on the reduction of megawatts or kilowatt hours drawn from ESCOM, and as a result also reduce the transmission losses associated with that energy that is no longer supplied by ESCOM to the end user. So if you improve the power factor of a site, a business, you'll reduce basically the amount of reactive power, and as a result, the amount of apparent power that you draw from the grid. So as a result, you free up capacity on the distribution network. So as I mentioned before, power factor correction reduces the amount of power drawn from the grid. So if you do that, you reduce the transmission losses, and by that, you reduce the carbon footprint of that entity. So, you don't need solar before you can install power factor correction equipment. They're complementary technologies, but nothing stops you from implementing factor solution in conjunction with a solar solution. So in South Africa, we see that ESGs are now typically factors in the bigger organizations, a key factor that senior management is considering. Now, if you improve the power factor of an entity and therefore its maximum demand, you improve the cost effectiveness of that entity. So basically what I'm saying is that the operating expenses come down. Now that these savings can then be applied to finance environmental projects that they have or anything else that the company prioritizes in their ESG targets. Its contribution to reductions in carbon emissions is pretty limited. It's in transmission losses and it's very difficult to quantify it. It's definitely there, but it's difficultly quantifiable because it is subject to so many parameters. It contributes, but a solar system will contribute much more to net zero targets than a power factor correction system. And it's very difficult to quantify it. It's definitely there, but it's difficultly quantifiable because it is subject to so many parameters. It contributes, but a solar system will contribute much more to net zero targets than a power factor correction system. Well, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe, and the blog is linked in the description below.